It is my first day on my Thailand island adventure, and my first island that I'm here on right now is called Koh Mook or Koh Mook. I've seen it spelled both ways, so I'm not entirely sure how you're supposed to pronounce it. It's a lesser known island. It's a little bit more remote, and that's one of the reasons that it appealed to me. And then as soon as I checked in, I told them one of the tours I wanted to go on, and they were like, well, if you can be ready in like 20 minutes, there's another couple that's doing the exact same tour, and they would be more than willing to have one other person join them to make the cost lower. So I had to literally like drop my stuff, put on my swimsuit, and like run back to reception so I could join them on the tour. And I was so grateful that I was able to do that because, one, it allowed me to have a really nice welcoming to the island, and two, it frees up my whole day tomorrow to just explore and not be on any kind of like time schedule. So the tour that I went on was called Emerald Cave, and it is kind of like a lot of tourists know about it now. It's actually one of the most popular stops on like a 4-island tour or something in the area. But it's a really cool cave because what happens is you pull up next to it either by boat or kayak. We took a longtail boat, and then you have to swim through a dark cave that's pitch black. So like you have to have a guide with you that has a flashlight, or you have to know to bring a flashlight with you if you go on your own. And I'm so glad that we swam through it. I contemplated doing a kayak thing through it, but some of the rocks are really low. So depending on the tide, I just don't know. It would have been kind of risky to go through with a kayak. Plus it was really kind of cool to like swim in the dark with just like your guide ahead of you with like a flashlight. And then you get to basically this lagoon. And it's where apparently pirates used to store their treasures, which is so cool. So you swim into the lagoon, and then it's just basically like this enclaved limestone cliff opening, and you can see like up to the sky, and it was really cool. It was a really unique thing to do, and I'm so grateful that was like how I was introduced to my whole island experience here in Thailand. So I'm currently disgusting. I'm gonna try to freshen myself up and just get acquainted with the island, grab some food, and kick off this part of my adventure. My ferry on my next island, and there's no roads here, so the only way to get there is to just walk on the beach. And some guy told me it was about a 5-minute walk, so with all of my luggage I'm hoping I get there soon. Good morning. I got up really early this morning, mostly because I kind of never really fell asleep. This is the first place that I'm staying that hasn't had air conditioning, so relying on just a fan in this like thick humidity was a bit of an adjustment last night, and it was a rough night's sleep. But the good side is that by the time my alarm went off, I was still awake. And I set my alarm last night knowing that, excuse me, I wanted to get up for the sunrise because our hotel beach faces the sunrise. So I popped right out of bed this morning, walked down here to the beach, which was a like 30-second walk. And when I got down here, I kind of thought I saw some clouds on the horizon, and I was like, oh, maybe it's not meant to be. And then all of a sudden, this bright, big orange orb just poked out of the horizon, and I couldn't believe it. And it was one of the most glorious things I've ever seen. I've never actually seen a sunrise like that before, so clearly pop up from the horizon. And I just felt so lucky to be here right in this moment. I'm just waiting to get on the ferry to my next island. I'm all set to go to Koh Lanta, and it's by speedboat transfer. And then I spend 4 nights on Koh Lanta before I head home. I just walked over here to one of the fancier resorts in the area, and my god, my view for lunch is amazing. I'm in like a little cabana with a ceiling fan, and I'm going to flip the camera around and show you guys what my view is like for lunch today. I feel very fancy. So I'm sitting on like a little sofa, and there is my view. Back in my hotel room after a day of snorkeling-ish. Had a little bit of a mishap. I never get seasick. Never. Like, Josh and I take fast ferries to Nantucket on really choppy Atlantic waters. I've just never gotten seasick. For some reason today, I got seasick. Thankfully, I was able to do a decent amount of snorkeling before basically I like destroyed the bathroom, which it was as bad as it sounds. I was so embarrassed and humiliated, and thankfully the tour operator guys were so kind and so nice and really understanding. So the other mishap I had was that I apparently didn't charge my GoPro with the right charger last night. So like a couple minutes after I got into the first snorkel water, it died. So I like barely got any footage. What I will say is that in my brain, in my mind, I can picture everything. I got to see some clownfish. I got to see some blue tangs, aka dories. I didn't get to see a sea turtle. That was kind of sad, but I saw so many different colored fish. The coral was spectacular. Like, I was reviewing my footage just now when I realized that like it stopped recording, and like it just doesn't do it justice. I really wish that I had like a really good quality underwater camera. But oh my god, it was so amazing. The reef was like perfect for snorkeling. It was like right underneath me, like probably like 3 to 4 feet underneath me, which is crazy. It was just amazing. So there were 3 snorkel stops. After the second one is when I got like violently ill. And then they let me just lay at the beach area for the rest of the afternoon while they took the rest of the team, or the rest of the crew and the passengers to the 3rd snorkeling site. So they kind of let me like let my sickness pass, which was really nice. And then they came and picked up me as well as the people that were cooking all the food on the beach for everybody. So a very successful day, but with some problems. Everything's fine, mostly just my ego is severely bruised. So it's my last day in Koh Bay, and then I'm going to Long Beach on the other side of the island for the next 2 nights, so starting tomorrow. And I have absolutely nothing planned, so that's kind of why I was really excited to do a snorkel trip today, because the next 2 days I just want to lay by the beach with my Kindle, just kind of meander the town area, get as much more Thai food in my tummy as I possibly can, because now I'm like starving, because like basically earlier today emptied everything that was in me. And I'm just gonna enjoy the rest of my night. I don't really have anything planned, but I definitely want to relax. I can still kind of feel myself swaying because the boat was just like, it was so like rocky and it just kept swaying like this, and I can still feel myself doing that. So I definitely want to get some rest tonight, so that way I'm well rested to rest for the next 2 nights.